Fasting and muscle loss. Does fasting actually cause loss of muscle? If you do long water fast, if you do intermittent fasting, is any loss of muscle? Stay there to the end to learn the science. Hi there, I'm Dr. Corassa, a clinical nutritionist from Brazil that actually saved his own life through a lifestyle medicine called natural hygiene, the science of health, and decided to live my life to share the message of health is produced only by healthful living. And that's what we're going to learn today, because fasting is one of the things that saved my life, besides a raw food diet, exercise, sunshine, and proper sleep. So there's a lot of myths about fasting, and people really don't know the practical, don't have the empirical evidence, nor do they have the science. I have fasted for 17 years now, have done long fasts from 39 days, 24, 23, 10 days, 15 days, 19 days. I have done a lot of long water fasts, and I have intermittent fasting for 18 hours per day for the last 17 years, and I haven't lost muscle whatsoever. So let's listen to who has the science to show and empirical evidence out as well. If you want to see the documentary from the 40-day water fast or from all the water fasts that I did, I will put the links below. Some of them are in my Portuguese channel that is still not translated to English, but the last 39-day water fast is actually available. You can watch it below. We have early research from Squirrels Morgulis showing that when you fast salamanders and other animals, rabbits for example, even when they lost 40% of their body weights, when they are refed, and that's not just Squirrels Morgulis, a famous fasting research back in the 2 centuries ago, but also von Salem and others have shown that the animals after the fast, it seems that they gain weight in half of the food that is needed to maintain the weight over the constantly fat animals. So they show that they not just gain weight way faster and easier, but they gain more protein, body mass, bone mass. So they actually grow stronger after the fast. But if we take a look at the science behind it, what we have nowadays and not 200 years ago in the lab animals, this research is actually on cell reports in hibernating bears. The bear has actually changes in microbiota from the summer to the winter, so he can store more fat to burn during the winter. So there's a lot of physiological changes going during fasting and during seasons. So we actually can withstand these changes, this lack of food, without harming ourselves. This research is actually on squirrels, and there's a big hole in gut microbiome during hibernation to actually protect the muscle mass of the squirrels during the 7 months that they can fast a year. They can hibernate for 7 months without food whatsoever. But there's gut microbiome mediated urea nitrogen recycling in hibernating squirrels. That means the microbes inside the intestines are actually recycling the nitrogen that was catabolized, that was used during fasting to maintain the nutrition. So they get the waste products of the organisms that he's screening. The microbes inside of the squirrel actually reuses that wasted protein to maintain the muscle mass from the squirrel. It's actually insane in terms of science, but it's actually why animals don't lose their muscle mass. One of the reasons animals don't lose their muscle mass during fasting. So there are gut microbes to break down the urea and incorporate this urea nitrogen back into the squirrel's protein pool. All animals have an amino acid pool, so you can get the proteins whenever you need it not just from food, anytime around the day for the body to use it. They actually fast for 6 months instead of 7 months. And for sure, hibernation induces a torpor that actually manages to reduce the metabolic state of these animals a lot so they can survive for 6 months. But still, it's quite impressive and remarkable. And for sure, human beings manage to regain the same amount of muscle mass after the refeeding process is done. If the fast is done correctly and the refeeding is done correctly. But that's one of the main things people need to understand. Fasting must be done with the proper guidance, with the proper supervision, with the proper hygienic model. That's why when I talk about water fasting, it's not any kind of fast. When I talk about intermittent fasting, it's not any kind of fast. It's actually the hygienic model of intermittent fasting and the hygienic model of water fasting. So you don't know what I'm talking about, right? So I highly recommend you to read Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery, my book that was actually published in Portuguese 13 years ago, and now is available in English on Amazon, on print on demand and Kindle. So this is the best and most comprehensive, updated book on the science of fasting and the clinical, practical application of fasting, the experience of 200 years of natural hygienists supervising thousands of water fasts. But if you want my help, I attend patients online and in-person sessions. I run retreats here in Brazil, and I also have other 10 books published, but they're still all in Portuguese. The only one that I have translated is the Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery, and it's a must read if you want to understand fast and if you want to fast properly. So look at how interesting it is. There is protein metabolism during fasting, and that produces nitrogen toxic compounds like urea. So there's actually urea nitrogen salvage, as we can see in this table. So the body reutilizes this urea nitrogen was actually about to be excreted. And when they're about to break the fast, the muscle protein synthesis is quite elevated. So the animal regain any muscle that he lost. So let's look at human beings instead of just looking at animals. And this research shows that a 10-day water fast appears safe in healthy humans. Protein loss occurs in early fasts, but decreases as ketogenesis increases, because we start to change from burning carbohydrates to burning fats. And when that change happens, the protein loss practically completely halted through a mechanism called protein spotting, that the body is wise and it wants to save the protein and just spares fat, because you can easily regain fat when you start refeeding. So fasting combined with physical activity does not negatively impact muscle function. This is actually a research published by the Buttingen Wilhelm Clinic, a fasting hospital in Spain and Germany. The participants that were in this research actually maintained their non-bearing muscles, non-weight-bearing muscles, and increased in weight-bearing muscles. And all the other blood parameters, glycemia, insulin, fats in the blood, like cholesterol, triglycerides, are all getting better. And we can even remember the fasting from Angus Barbieri. He fasted for 382 days and was medically supervised and published in Postgraduate Medical Journal. So that's a huge deal. And the guy was still living. Did he lose muscle? Maybe a little bit, but he can regain the muscle. But he managed to reverse his pathological obesity. He was more than 230 kilos, I think, to coming down to 80 kilos after 382 days of fasting. 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. That means the muscle function during these 10 days of water fast in these persons in medically supervised water fast actually was maintained or even improved. So there's actually 3 phases during fasting, and you can read more of the details if you read this research. But the main part I want to mention is that I did long water fast. I have lived in a raw food diet for 17 years. I haven't lost muscle at all. I look smaller, but I managed to lift the same weights I did before all these fasts. So the fast only made me younger and more athletic. Maybe I don't look stronger, but I feel stronger, and I can probably lift the same weights or even a little bit more after 39 days of water fast. So in my humble opinion, and in all the scientific research that I read, fasting will only improve muscle protein biosynthesis, but not if done incorrectly, but done correctly in a safe and thoughtful way. And it's not just fasting, it's the whole lifestyle that makes you more healthy and more prone to produce muscle. So what are your thoughts? Don't forget, if you want to know more about fasting, I will put several links below and also videos on the cards over here. Don't forget to watch them all. Watch all the videos about fasting here in the channel. And don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give a thumbs up, comment below, share the video with everybody that needs to know this message. And if you want my help, make sure to read the Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery, but also stay tuned for the release of more books or come to Brazil to learn with me during our raw food retreats. Health is produced by Healthy Living. If you liked this video, watch these videos to know more.